Welcome back. It is time for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me right now is CIT Investment Associate Senior Vice President and Senior Portfolio Manager Bryce Doty back with us. Also with me is Mike Lee this morning. Bryce, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
And Mike and I were looking at futures earlier, and we've got a pretty good sell-off underway ahead of the Fed meeting today. Take a look. The Dow Industrial's now down 89, the Nasdaq down 93. Mike, we are looking at stocks lower going into the open this morning after a big day yesterday on the upside. And of course, that was led by tech and AI optimism in the middle of Nvidia's kickoff to its annual AI conference yesterday. Nvidia announced a new generation of AI chips and software. It includes a new AI graphics processor named Blackwell. This stock is incredible. It is down this morning, but it is up 240% in the last year, Mike. Did you learn anything from that AI conference yesterday? It's continuing today. What do you make of the Nvidia story?
So the big headline is this Blackwell chip, which is 5 times as powerful as their Hopper series, which it catapults them back into the lead or leaves everyone else in the dust as it comes to these GPUs or graphic processing units that are needed to put together the computing power to use generative AI. The other thing that's not being talked about enough is they want to transform themselves into a platform company, similar to the way that everyone has an iPhone, and now the real profit, the real growth in Apple is from its services, from its app store, and all the various things it can sell you around it about having this tool in your hand. So with everybody having Nvidia GPUs out there in their data centers, what services can they sell on top of it? They can have developers develop applications that run off this, that they can take a VIG on and install, and they have a whole software package to go with it. So it now goes from a one-time hardware sale with an upgrade cycle to a constant fee revenue at very high margins, a lot more predictable, and you don't need to manufacture anything to sell services to simply be that platform. So it's a much different business they're going to transition themselves into after all of corporate America makes this upgrade. This is the largest technological upgrade cycle in the history of the world. Nvidia is at the forefront. I think this stock has a long way to go. Look, stock's up 250, 300%.
Unbelievable.
Earnings are up 500%, right?
Wow.
I think earnings could double and triple over the next couple of years if what the CEO Jensen Huang is predicting comes true. So it's a really kind of unbelievable time in technology investing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, it's analogous to when we were first talking about .com, when we were first talking about the PC. I guess then you're in the believes corporate America is going to start spending on these AI chips, because the last time we discussed Nvidia earnings in the last quarter, the Journal was writing about how, yeah, Meta and Google and tech names are all in and buying and spending money on AI chips, but the rest of corporate America has really not. And so they were making the case that that could suggest a longer runway for this. I assume that's what you believe.
Yeah, so the CEO Jensen Huang said, we not only think companies are going to invest in AI, but that all data centers in the world are going to need to transition to these new generation of GPUs. And so if that happens, this is an even bigger cycle. But if you're a large corporation and you're not using some form of generative AI to crunch data, so we entered the era of big data in 2010, 2011, and now companies are sitting on all this information. Well, how do you process it into actionable ideas that can increase productivity, increase revenue, increase profits? You're going to need to make investments into this generative AI. So it's you either spend the money or you get left in the dust. That's the viewpoint now. We'll see how that plays out. I tend to think this is going to increase productivity. S&P 500Y. I'm very, very bullish on this entire AI trade and the trend.
I think I agree with you, but we also have near-term issues, Bryce, and that is, so if we see China go into Taiwan this year, anytime soon, while 90% of these advanced chips are made there in Taiwan, China will be able to shut the world on and off. These are the chips that are put in the military and used for our advanced technology. This is very scary.
Maria, it's terrifying. So if China were to take Taiwan, that would be devastating for the entire global economy because it's a very specialized manufacturing process. Many of the line workers have pledged to never, ever work under Chinese rule. So you're looking at a total and complete shutdown of the chip manufacturing for everything that we use. And like, you could just remember the shipping delays during COVID, and there's still a backlog with certain cars now 3 and 4 years later from the damage of that. So look, I say the stock I like to say, if you believe Trump's going to win the election, the number one stock for that is Taiwan Semi, right? Because there's no way China will invade Taiwan if Trump wins. But the underpinning of this is that the computing power that corporations in the U.S., because we are the first to embrace it. Nvidia is a U.S. company. The design is happening in Southern California, and it's being manufactured in Taiwan. These are American things. These are American companies jumping on this first. It's going to give us a massive productivity leap against every other company in the world. So while some things aren't going well in this country, this is pretty spectacular for America.
It sure is. Cheryl, your thoughts?
Well,